So let me know what you think in the comments about these backdrops. My friends who are helping me shoot these videos have different opinions about what's interesting versus what's not, and what's lightable and what's not. So let me know in the comments what you think. So we're talking again about the development process today. We've gone over site selection, site contracting, entitlement, permit. Now we'll talk about the design process, which is a key component to getting your building entitled and permitted, and actually carries through construction. So design is sort of the lifeblood of the whole process. When you're developing a building, your first key hire is going to be your architect. So that's the person who's supposed to assemble all the other disciplines around them and coordinate them in executing the vision that's agreed to by the developer owner and by the architect. And you want to make sure that you hire an architect who can have a good rapport with the city, who's able to effectively manage the sub-designers, and who is familiar with your product type, ideally, or at least the construction type that you're doing, whether it's concrete or wood or steel, or whether it's storage or warehouse or office, because that knowledge of how these buildings are typically programmed, how they're put together, how they're assembled, comes from experience. And you want to make sure the leader of your team on the design side, who's your architect, has that experience and has that knowledge necessary for leading the design to completion. So once you've hired your architect, the first set of disciplines after that you typically need to hire is going to be your civil engineer and your geotechnical engineer for any projects requiring below grade work. And that's it, basically. Your architect and your civil and your geotechnical and your structural. You also want to identify a structural engineer. Should be able to get you to what's called a schematic design, where you generally know what your building massing is, what the structure is, what the materials are, everything kind of in broad strokes of what the building will be. Once you've identified your concept and sketched out with your architect, develop the design with your structural and your civil and your geotech, then you go into what's called design development, where you figure out mechanical and electrical and plumbing and just more details. You're going from the abstract, which is a concept, to the very, very narrow, finite defined, which is the construction drawings. And your design development is the bridge between the two. Typically, the design development set is sufficient for getting through the entitlements process. However, some people who want to take more risk because they value time more than money, which if you're in a position to be that loose with your money, that's great, that's awesome, that's what you should totally do. Those people will dual track the processing of their design development drawings with the full development of their construction set. And once the construction set is done, then you can go into the building permit process and you can refine your construction drawings as you get feedback from the city. And at the end of this whole process, if you do it the most time efficient way, at about the time that you get your full entitlements for your building based on your design development set of plans, you'll be also granted your building permits from the city on your fully developed construction drawings. And if you're smart about it, you will have gotten a general contractor bid or multiple GC bids on your construction drawings. So you'll have your entitlements, you'll have your permits, and you'll have your guaranteed maximum price GC bid. And with those three pieces and the land under your control, you're ready to go vertical.